Hello everyone, welcome to the second episode of Midlight Digital. Today we're going to talk about something that is very close and dear to my heart, and that is the question of a college degree versus an online course. That's really an $80,000 question, and by the end of this video you're going to probably make a better decision about what your life is worth. And my point is basically the following. We are automatically instructed to go to college after graduating from high school. That seems historically that has been the way to go. And it made sense in the past, but I believe that it doesn't make sense anymore. It's just way too much time, way too much money, studying things that are not related to what you actually want to learn. So this is the situation. You spend $80,000 on a college degree. Now, you're wondering, what did $80,000 did actually get you? I do remember the excitement when I graduated from college. But really quickly after that, I started getting anxiety just thinking about the end of my forbearance period because, like a lot of people, I went to school on school loans. So I knew I had to pay them back. So here is where your money actually goes. When you pay your tuition, basically, this is showing you that annualized from 2000 to 2022, the cost of tuition has gone up 4.8% per year. That has grown more than anything else, just about. Look at the year-over-year growth for home prices, 2.7% per year. Gas, 2.3, probably even higher because of what's going on right now with Iran. Wages, only 2.1%. And overall inflation year over year, 1.9%. So we can see that the cost of tuition is just out of control. And that is just the cost of tuition. It doesn't include room and board, books, food, etc. You can see that on average, you can spend $2,600, $3,000 a year just driving, just getting to school, paying for parking, the maintenance on your car. I mean, there are so many other more expenses that are not even taken into account. And especially in cities like where I live, 62% of the people have to drive to school. So what does it mean for you? It basically means that what 1 year of college versus your salary. So let's compare. Back in 1996, 1 year of college was about 18% of your salary. It's high, but okay, it makes sense. Now we're looking at 2024. For a public school, now you're up to 41% per year of your starting salary. That's significantly higher, but it's still okay. It's an investment in the future. But now if you went to a private school, that is now consuming 97% of your starting salary. That's crazy. That's per year. So that's 4 years where basically your college tuition bill is eating up your whole salary. What are you going to get with the other 3%? A side of fries? Biggie size? I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. Since 1996, it has nearly doubled. So where did that money actually go? You say, wow, I got the best college education ever, man. With that money, I'm going to go places. But the reality is that most of that money now is going to admin positions at the schools. As you can see here, it went 28 to 30% of the tuition goes to admin staffing. Only 21 to 24% goes to teachers. Now universities spend more on admin than on teaching. And school administrators, those positions grew by 3.8% since 1975, while the student enrollment only went up by 1.7. So that means basically the time period coincides with when the government started backing up student loans. So more people start going to school. Okay, so you need to get more admin, but then you start increasing the price because, hey, it's backed up by the government and you can't default on your school loans. You can't declare bankruptcy. So we have to pay no matter what. In 1970, there were 7 admin per 100 faculty. By 2022, now we have 40 admin per 100 faculty. So you're not having a whole bunch of teachers joining the school. You're having a whole lot of admin joining the school. Getting to your teachers, to your professors can still be difficult. There's not that much choice on when you can take a class. Sometimes they can hold you because you weren't able to get into the class that you needed to graduate. So where does that tuition money go? And who gets paid what? Now we have a chief marketing officer on average making $230,000. That's what they're spending. Schools have to spend money, big money, to get students enrolled into their campuses and sign for college degrees. The vice president of diversity, equity, and inclusion, $200,000 a year. A sustainability officer. What does that even mean? Sustain what? Sustain the students? Make sure they're fed? Make sure they're learning? No. It's an officer that manages environmental programs. I guess, $100,000 a year to make sure that the paper at the library is getting recycled or that the mulch is organic. I don't know. But is that something that you really were taking into account for where your money is going? That's just crazy. Okay, now let's look at what courses do you have to take with all that money that you're paying. Let's look at some of these ridiculous examples that I found. Engineering majors at Texas A&M forced into ballroom dancing. Nuclear engineers at Brigham Young University required to take bowling classes. Bowling, okay? Computer science majors at UCLA taking race and racism in American film. This is for computer science, not for art majors, filmmakers. This is for guys programming stuff. They have to take this class, okay? That's awesome. All 60% of students of universities, they have to take diversity courses, even if you're in math. Just things that are not related to one another. You still have to enroll, you have to take that class, or you can't get the credits to graduate. Something really crazy that I found out at MIT, you actually have to pass a swimming test in order to graduate. So this started back in World War II because they thought it was a life-saving skill that you had to know how to swim. And since then, until today, you have to pass a 100-yard swimming test to graduate from MIT. That's just crazy on another level, all right? And it's now worse than it looks because when 60% of the students have to enroll in remedial courses that don't give you any credit, that means that the gap between what the students learn when they get out of high school and what the expectation is when you go to college, it's so big that the colleges are saying, you guys are not ready. You have to take some of these other classes so that you can be up to our level. And guess what? You have to pay for them, but you're not going to get any credits. That's just ridiculous. So either the school system, the public schools are not doing their job, or somehow the level that the expectations that are set by the universities just don't make any sense. But they should align. They should know what where the students are when they graduate and adjust their courses to those levels, not make people have to take extra classes and pay more when they're actually getting no credits whatsoever for those courses. 1 in 5 students, they default within 12 years. Because what happens nowadays? What's the reality? Let's say you're lucky to get a job. The career or the company that you chose, that you got your first job, layoffs, that goes out of business, it gets bought by another company, and you're one of the unlucky ones. How are you going to make your school payments when you don't have a job? So people start defaulting because they just can't afford that anymore. It's crazy when you can't buy anything. You can't buy a house. You can't forget about a new car because all your money is basically going to school payments. 33% of college graduates under 27 work jobs that don't even require a degree. Would you like fries with that? And as example, in some fields, 60% of communication graduates, they work outside their field. What do you even do with a communications major? Communicate? Isn't that what we do on a regular basis? You need 4 years of education to do that. 53% of liberal arts students, 22% of engineers, they're working in something that has nothing to do with their degree. I mean, some degrees really shouldn't exist. I don't see the point. Doctors, engineers, pharmacists, architects. Maybe I'm old school, but to me that's a degree. A liberal arts, a communications major, that's just made up stuff, I believe, to make you get a degree and pay for something that what is going to give you in return? Not much. And then we go into AI, the latest and greatest, because now AI is killing jobs. That's what we hear in the news. And it's happening. There is some regret, but overall, 60% of entry-level tech jobs are disappeared since 2022. And you heard the layoffs from Microsoft, from Google, from Oracle, because they're just betting big on AI, because AI is the greatest and latest. IBM eliminated 7,800 positions. And even in entry-level hiring jobs in the knowledge sector, they're down by 30%. So not only are you paying a lot of money for a college degree, you were hoping to get a job, an entry-level job, so that you can get those 5 years of experience that every entry-level job requires. And now you can't even do that because AI just took your job. So now what? Now, what is the real cost of those $80,000? You graduated, and maybe some of you graduated with the luck of not having any bills whatsoever because you were so fortunate that your parents either had the means to pay for your college tuition out of pocket, either because they had the money or because they had to work overtime, or they really busted their rear ends off and you had both parents working multiple jobs or overtime to pay for your tuition. But not all of us had that luck. A lot of us had to actually borrow all the money to go to school because that was the promised path to a great career. So what does that $80,000 actually cost you? If you actually pay in 10 years at an average interest rate of 5.5%, 6.5%, you're paying about an extra $29,000 during those 10 years. So, okay, it's the cost of doing business. Hopefully you have a good return on your investment and that money was worth it. You weren't so fortunate and you signed up for one of those income-based repayment plans that extend the time. Now we're looking at 20 years and the actual cost goes up to about $143,000. That's assuming that you paid over the 20 years on time. Nothing happened, because jobs hire you for 20 years, so everything should be good. And if you had to extend it even a little bit more, because there was no COVID, there were no financial crises, there were no made-up wars. So now we're up to $162,000 over a 25-year term. That's $900 for 10 years, $597 over 20 years, which is a little more affordable, or $541 over 25 years. That's basically buying a Mercedes-Benz and making payments for 25 years. Can you see yourself making 25 payments, 25 years of payments for a car? Now we're talking about a tuition. So hopefully you were lucky enough to get the job, never get laid off, get the pay raises so that you could pay for this degree without any problems whatsoever. But I believe that life is a little bit more complicated than that. So what is the alternative that I am proposing? What $800 could get you? That's what I'm basically coming down to. That's the price of Seth Hymes' digital marketing course. So he has a YouTube channel where he interviews people. It is called In Demand Career. And he has a lot of digital marketing career walkthroughs where he talks about what jobs are available, how much they pay, how to apply, which ones you should be applying, even though the qualifications might be above what your skill level is. He also talks with former students and they share their experiences on how they got started. We're just regular people that take the course, go through it, follow the steps, and they land their first position. The main deal with Seth's course is that he's not teaching you everything. He's just teaching you the basics, just enough to get into that entry-level job. Okay, so that's the difference between maybe other courses where you could pay more, but I believe that his course is good enough just to get the basics. Another option is the Google Digital Marketing Certificate. You can actually audit the classes for free. It's 8 courses that should last about 6 months. And if you pay for it, it's basically around $50 a month. Now you're paying $50 a month for 6 months for a median salary of about $71,000 a year. Over 100,000 job openings, no degree, no experience. Even Google was willing to overlook the need for a college degree because they're realizing that it's really not necessary. You want the skills to do the job, period. Plus, it's in Google's best interest to get you a job, because in a way you're going to be feeding the Google machine by learning about digital marketing. So it's in their best interest to make it easy and make it affordable and make it quick. In 4 years, things just change too much for you to be enrolled in a college degree to learn about digital marketing. My base layer was Seth's digital marketing course. Like I said, the next one level up is Nico AI Ranking. And Nico AI Ranking, he has over 800 videos of free education, basically, on the more technical aspects of setting up this digital marketing agency for yourself, the automation, getting the data, using AI. So 802 videos of free education. It's costing you nothing. It's just your time watching YouTube. So besides that, if you decide to pay, he has this school. It's called AI Ranking, and I believe that you pay for, it's $27 a month to get more assistance. Basically, it's like you can watch all the videos for free, but if you can still figure it out and you need help, then you can join for $27 a month and get more assistance and get access into this system called DataWise. It's basically he created the information, a database or a software to get the data that's required to actually do the work in digital marketing, getting the numbers and the information to make good decisions. This is the software. It's called DataWise, or I guess you could call it software as a service. And you can see that it's basically you're replacing $400 a month in payments for different memberships for things that are way over your head, probably way more complicated. He makes it more affordable, and that is included in his $27 a month course. Something that he promoted before, I believe is an even cheaper option, but something that you will have to set yourself, is data for SEO, which is basically you're using APIs, you're using the databases, you're connecting to it, and you're making your own reports. This is way cheaper. So like I said in my first video, I'm not cheap, I'm mega cheap, and this will be the cheapest way to do what Nico AI Ranking is charging you $27 a month. So if you don't even want to pay $27 a month and you want to figure out how to do this, get all this data by yourself at almost no price, then data for SEO is the way to go. It does say that you have to make an initial minimum payment of $50, but that doesn't mean that you're going to use all those $50. It's sort of a pay-as-you-go system. So the less data you use, the longer those $50 are going to last. That should last you a long time. So that's the other option to keep building up this digital marketing agency. So here's the topmost layer of this cake that we're baking to make this agency, and it's called Building Public. And it's this guy, Edward Sturm. He's an expert in the field, and he has even more videos than Nico AI. Okay, and they are completely free. But if you want to pay, again, if you need more hands-on, if you don't know what you're doing, then you have that option as well. Let me show you his website. Let me show you the videos first. See if I can find them. They're right here. So it's the Edward Show, Edward Sturm, and he has 3,200 videos. So he puts out videos multiple times a week, plenty of information for you to really understand how it works. So the best way that I can put it is, when you first go to school and you learn a certain way of doing things. Okay, that's fine. But then once you get to a job, it's like, well, this is how we actually do it. And this is how it actually works, so that you can be faster, you can be better, and do it in less time. So I think this is what Edward Sturm is. He's the guy that, the senior guy at work that tells you, let me show you how it's done. You're doing it the wrong way. You're doing it the long way. I have a better way, a way that saves you time and makes you look good in front of your boss. But like I said, if you want to pay, then he has this program called Compact Keywords. It's a one-time $499 payment that helps you learn really how the engine works if you still can't figure it out after watching his 3,000 plus videos. So there is just way more assistance than really but you know what to do with it. Okay, but the assistant is there, the program is there, so you're getting a lot of free videos. Figure it out on your own. If you still have issues, okay, make a pay, either a monthly payment or a one-time payment of $499. It's up to you to decide, but you can totally do this on your own. Now, going back to my totally free option is, if you don't want to pay anything, if you believe that I am trying to sell a system or something, then one thing that you can do is go to the Google certificate or find an online course or even a college course and find the syllabus, find the classes. And with that information, you get the syllabus and you ask AI, ChatGPT, or Claude, or whatever you want to use, build me a course based on this syllabus. And you can build your own course if you want. Make it yourself. I can't get any more free than that. Okay, so here's my philosophy. Okay, if you want to be an employee, you want to get your hands dirty, you're a young person and you're looking for your first job to get the experience, then you can take Seth's course and or the Google certificate and get your feet on the door. If you want to go a step above and or you want to build your own agency, then you use Nico AI Ranking, totally free. Plus, you use Edward Sturm's 3,000 plus videos, again, totally free, to get everything connected to get this agency going. And that's the way that I am going. What do you want to do? You want to pay a few $100s, maybe $1,000 tops if you get everything besides the course and get going quickly? Or do you want to spend $80,000, 4 years plus, and how to take a mandatory ballroom dancing class in college? The choice is yours, but I think by now, what I said at the beginning of this video, you can make a way better choice and figure out where's the scam, because the system is not designed to teach you anymore. The system is designed to keep you in the system. More administrators, they have to charge you more tuition, more requirements to graduate. That means you have to stay there longer, because that 4 years, that's not enough. Now it's 4.5, 5 years plus. Like I said, Seth, when you look at if you go and look at his course, he really wants you to get a job. And when you watch his videos in his YouTube channel, you can see the success stories, the students actually getting jobs and getting good paying jobs. That's really all the marketing he needs. I mean, look at me. He's not paying me. He has no idea who I am. And thanks to his course, indirectly, I'm actually starting a new job. So no more dead-end job for me. And it's something that I did because I figured out that I could make a website, use AI, and it was good enough to actually charge a company to make this website. The owner of the company liked the work enough to say, hey, I want this guy working for me, and I'm starting a new job. So you have options. The incentive is for you to succeed quickly, and succeed for a few bucks. Okay? College means you're staying for a long time, you're paying school loans for years, you're not gonna have your car, you're not gonna have your house, you're not gonna have the nice vacation, because that college payment is taking up all your money, all your resources for multiple years. So I'm not trying to be too negative on colleges. Colleges, they have a point. They are definitely useful for certain fields. But now there are just too many degrees that are, let's say, they're useless. They're just there to take your money, but they don't really get you a job. Now I think I've given you enough information to just think about it more carefully, and don't just blindly go applying for a college degree because you think that's the only way to get a job. That's what we have been spoon-fed all our lives, and our parents believe in it, especially our immigrant parents. They still have that strong belief that you need a college degree. There's that belief that, okay, you're not getting the college degree, you're buying into a network, or you're buying status, because if you go to an Ivy skill, you're going to be working or meeting another level of people that can get you places, that will recommend you or tell you about when there's a job opening. And that's true to a degree. But that even within those, let's say, Ivy schools, They're Ivy kids, Ivy League skill kids. Are they going to necessarily let the one kid from, the inner city into their group, into their little club? Maybe they're nice, but I think lived long enough to know that that's probably not the way it works. So it's really up to you. And then I included the sources for every source that I use to make this video, just because I want to be as upfront as I possibly can. I don't want to have any possibility of somebody saying that it's made up or it's not true. I did catch a few things from AI that were wrong, but that's part of the job. Like I said, you have to not trust AI and double check. But I believe that this is the best information out there to really make you think about what the options are going forward. So guys, thank you again. If you made it through this video, I really appreciate the feedback, the commentary, the changes that I made hopefully are better for you guys that decided to subscribe and keep watching me. And like I said, whether you like it or not, if you want to follow along and watch the train wreck, I'll be here once again getting out of the dip. Until the next one.